Mike Brinker is the lead designer of a little game you might have heard of. It's called Rise of the Tomb Raider. It was an Xbox One exclusive, but that was the past. The future is PC and PS4, but not together right at the same time, right? We've got PC first.
Absolutely. We have a Windows 10 and a Steam version coming out, so you'll be able to play those. And then the Baba Yaga DLC.
Okay, very nice. And the PS4 version, what will you guys frame that as? The Game of the Year type version, or what are you going to frame that?
Well, we haven't really released any details on the PS4 version. We know that it will be coming out later this year. But right now we're focused on the DLC and supporting what we've got. So really excited about the PC version, though, because it's going to be fantastic.
Yes, yes. I guess you guys can just punch up all the graphics and all of the effects and all of the things that, I mean, the Xbox One's a very powerful machine, but now you can go and juice it, basically.
Absolutely, and that's one of the great things about when we work on Tomb Raider and we look at what the world's like, we try to make a very immersive environment. And one of the things you're going to get out of the PC version, you're going to get that rampant fidelity. So we start all of our artists working from 4K textures from the beginning. Wow. So we'll be able to take that, the texture resolution, really be able to let PC players just crank those DOMs and be able to see some of that really lush detail. Even the foliage in the game, all the trees, you're going to see a lot more bendies in the game. And our LOD distancing, everything about the level of detail is going to be ramped up as well. So PC gamers are going to get not only that really nice crisp frame rate, but they're also going to be able to get just an amazing amount of fidelity in the game.
What has the game's been phenomenally well received. It's got a whole bunch of award nominations up there. It was, it was a big player in our Rockin' and Reagan Awards at the end of the year for us last year. A lot of fans for this game, but how is the studio feeling right now?
You know, at Crystal Dynamics is an amazing place to work. I've really enjoyed it there, and I think we are always so focused on what Lara's adventure is, and we're so incredibly excited about Rise of the Tomb Raider because it's not just about the adventure that we've made already, it's about the support we're still giving it, like that Baba Yaga DLC. That's something that not only plays into how we make the game, but the mythos in the world and the actual folk tales and folklore that surround that area, even in Siberia. So. Yeah. We're still really excited about what the opportunities there are to support this game, and I think our fans are really going to love it too.
So does that mean more DLC is coming?
Well, I think you're going to enjoy what we've got so far. I mean, there's always things that we're looking at. I mean, endurance mode too, right? That's something that really has a really unique survival take on the game that I think people are really going to like as well. So,
very cool. Yeah. What have you learned about the game, because you always do, when the players get their hands on it, since it's been out on the Xbox One for a while?
You know, our fans have been really receptive to it. I think that's one of the things we look at. I think that all of the stuff that we've received has been really positive. I think that we're really looking at what Lara's adventure is now and all of the stuff that we've incorporated for bringing back the tombs, right? That's, I think, is really important, and I think that's something that we're going to stick to for anything that we do. I mean, Lara Croft is about raiding tombs, right? And now that she really wants to do that in this game, I think you're going to see a lot more of that.
Did you guys have a moment when Todd Howard came out on stage and announced the launch date for Fallout 4? Where you're like, oh God, or were you guys cool with that all the time?
You know, once again, we're all fans of a lot of different games out there. You know, we all play all different kinds of things, but. To be honest, we were really just focusing on what it means to build a great tomb raiding experience. Yeah. And I think that if you look at what we've done in the past and looking at all the stuff we've incorporated over the 20-year history of the franchise and what we've done to date, and that is really what we focused on. And I think the critics and the fans have really spoken about that. I think that that's pretty clear, and we're super excited about that.
That's awesome. And to that end, how many thank you cards have you sent to Naughty Dog for delaying their game over and over again?
You know, we're all fans, like I said, of all different kinds of games. We play all different stuff, so you know, we're just happy and excited that there's competition out there, and we're just going to keep focusing on what we do best, which is making Tomb Raider.
Awesome. Are you guys going to give us any new nooks and crannies to explore that are sort of platform exclusive? Anything on the PC that we could not see or could not get to on the Xbox One or for the PlayStation 4?
Well, so we're focused on that experience across the board, right? We're sort of platform agnostic in that we really want everyone who enjoys tomb raiding to have that same experience. The thing that the PC version really does is that it really allows you to really dive into the bells and whistles of making that experience be much more immersive and the graphical fidelity of that. Yeah. So what we really care about is making sure everyone has that great experience, and I think that everyone's going to be able to do that with the PC version too.
One of the things that I noticed about Rise of the Tomb Raider on this playthrough, I actually preferred the story of the origin of Tomb Raider the first time, because you could see the emerging of the character. Yeah. And in Rise, she's almost so overpowered and so overpowering. She's just so cool. And every other character that you've introduced throughout the story just can't measure up to Lara. And I wonder if that's something that you guys have kind of heard before or have taken in as in your own sort of analysis of the game to kind of lift up some of the ancillary characters and some of the supporting cast a little bit?
You know, I think it's an interesting take on it. It's one that, you know, I think everyone's going to have their way of looking at it. And I think when we looked at making Rise of the Tomb Raider, we wanted to make sure that our evolution of that character was going from something that was reactionary, right? She was put on the island of Yamatai not by her own making. That was something that she ended up running into and having to deal with and to survive. Rise of the Tomb Raider is really more about that. I'm now taking on those myths and ancient truths, because if you look at what she experienced on Yamatai, that was the beginning. What Rise is the game we've always wanted to make, right? It's the game about her becoming the Tomb Raider.
It's the Dark Knight.
Exactly. Well, it's becoming the person she's always meant to be.
Yes.
And there's a lot of that in there. And I think that when you look at her comparisons against, like you were saying, the other ancillary characters in the story, I think that one of the things that we've set up is the ability to sort of play with that. And I think in the DLC, you're going to start to see, oh yeah, there are this remnant faction, and oh, there's some people out there that I can help. And that continues not only Lara's character as being that strong but driven character, but also opens up the door for all these other people to come in and play with it too. So I think that really is an interesting dichotomy you brought up, and I think there's more we can do with that.
Yeah, I mean, she is such an amazing creation, you know, and you guys are honoring that creation so beautifully at Crystal Dynamics, but I feel like there's a Joker to be made for Lara Croft, and even a Robin to be made for Lara Croft, you know?
Yeah, no, well, it's interesting. I think that analogy is, I think that's apropos when you look at it from a character-to-character perspective, but I also think if you look at what tomb raiding is about, and you look about what some of the ancient history and the mythos, I think that sort of starts to become what you're looking at with that Joker. You know, I think that's really about, I have to uncover this. I have to know what the truth is. I have to expose that to the world. I think you're going to find that there's ways in which you can play with that really makes sense, both in a sort of an actual physical version of that versus a sort of an ethereal version. So I think there's a lot you can do with that.
Yeah, and you guys are not stopping anytime soon, I would imagine.
No, well, there's always going to be more adventures. Let's put it that way.
Very nice. Now, Brian Horton was in the news recently. He's left the studio. He's going to be working at Infinity Ward. How did that kind of ripple through the studio? I know he's been a pretty strong force over there for a long time.
Well, you know, Brian Horton's a great guy. He's a personal friend of mine, and we wish him the best of luck. He's been great and key on Rise of the Tomb Raider. We really enjoyed having him. I don't think that there's really anything to say other than we wish him the best, and we're moving forward, and we're always going to be looking at making the best tomb raiding experience we can.
This is a hungry mob that watches content like this. When are we going to hear about the next adventure, the new Lara Croft? And I count myself among that mob. I can't wait.
You know, I'd love to talk about whatever it is that's going on in the universe, but you know, it's one of those things where it's so important that we look at what we have and we make sure that people are enjoying what it is. And you know, the DLC is really important to us. Endurance mode is really important to us. So those things are things that we're really looking at it and saying, hey, do our fans like this? Is this something that they really want to enjoy and play? And do the critics like it? So I think that's really important to sort of just take that in, understand what that is, and make sure that we're on the right track.
There's about 9 games in the Tomb Raider franchise right now. I don't know what the final count.
Well, technically, Tomb Raider 2013, our reboot, was what we called TR9 or Tomb Raider 9.
Wow, okay.
Rise of the Tomb Raider is the 10th version, if you look at it in that canon, in that light.
Okay, so where do you go?
Where
else do you go in the world? Like, what else can you scratch?
There are plenty of places.
Yeah?
Plenty. Just pick up that map, look at that globe. There's plenty of places you can go. It's gonna be fun.
Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.